Hey everyone, Jay Whitner here with Space Headlines. We do a quick recap each week of what's going on in the space universe, and today we're going to be talking about the second week of January 2019. Our first item has to do with deep space exploration. Space probes that are in the vicinity of the Earth, our moon, Mars, are close enough to the sun that they can rely on solar power for their needs. But as probes go further and further from the sun, they need to have some nuclear material on board that provides the power source, and we were running low on that material. The news is that scientists at Oak Ridge National Lab have figured out an automated way to make more of this plutonium-238 that powers these spacecraft, and they've been able to triple production of this valuable material. So we'll be able to continue doing exploration of the outer parts of our solar system, and thanks to the people at Oak Ridge. The Hubble Space Telescope is broken. This is obviously an upsetting situation, but quite often NASA is able to step in and figure out what went wrong and repair it. But due to the government shutdown, most NASA people are not allowed to go to work. So this presents an extra special problem. The part that is broken is the Wide Field Camera 3. And this is a device that's generated a tremendous amount of the Hubble's groundbreaking astronomy. So it's a serious matter. And it's been about 10 years since the last time Hubble was serviced in orbit by the space shuttle. So we'll have to see if NASA is able to get this repaired in spite of the being hampered by the government shutdown. Elon Musk at it again. He's unveiled his test vehicle that's being used as part of the development of his BFR rocket, the second stage of the Starship. So he showed some images of it, and it is really sharp looking in stainless steel. So this is analogous to what they did with in the early days of the Falcon 9 reusability efforts. They had a hopper that they used. There was a cut down size version to test their landing routines and so forth. So this is the BFR equivalent. So these test flights are going to happen in Texas, and the first hops could happen in March or April. So this is an exciting step toward the real Starship. Falcon 9 had yet another success. The rocket launched an Iridium satellite, actually a bunch of them, and then the first stage successfully landed on the drone ship. This took place in Vandenberg Air Force Base, is where the launch occurred. And it was a nice breakthrough because it completes the SpaceX contract for the Iridium satellite constellation. The total constellation is 66 satellites, and involved an estimated roughly $3 billion of investment to make this Iridium constellation come to life. So it's a huge milestone and a great thing for SpaceX as well. SpaceX is making some changes as part of their upcoming projects. And their announcement is they're laying off roughly 10% of the SpaceX staff. And the thinking is that this is all happening because of their shift to new projects, notably the giant rocket, the BFR, and their Starlink internet communications satellite constellation. So while they did not announce all the details of why they were doing this, this seems to be the theme of it. And also they have some big programs that have involved a tremendous amount of effort that are now wrapping up. So for example, the Falcon 9, the Block 5 is thought to be the last version of the Falcon 9 that's been designed, tested, flown. So people that worked on the Block 5 Falcon 9, they're done. And also the Crew Dragon, all the design of that spacecraft is done. The production facilities are in place. They've made at least one that I know of is completed. So these positions may not be needed moving forward because these programs are an operational basis as opposed to a design basis. So we'll see how this turns out, but they do plan to lay off some of their staff. Stratolaunch, the world's largest aircraft, continues to be developed. The news was they recently had a high-speed taxi test. They got to almost 140 miles an hour in this taxi test. So they're coming to the end of this phase, the taxiing, and will begin their flight testing of the aircraft probably quite soon. The aircraft flight testing is expected to last somewhere between 1.5 and 2 years, at which point they will start launching rockets off of the aircraft. And it seems that the early phases of this are going to involve Pegasus rockets. Up to a total of 3 per flight can be carried aloft by the Stratolaunch. So it's to be hoped that in under 2 years we'll start seeing this giant aircraft flying and launching rockets. It'll be very exciting. China had a big breakthrough. They sent a probe to the moon, had a safe landing on the moon, and did some science that's never been done before. They tried to take a set of seeds and cause them to germinate, to sprout in the 1/6 gravity. It's what you get on the moon. And they were able to do that. So this is the first step in determining, can we grow food in partial gravity environment? We have very little experience on the space station of trying to grow some types of food with no gravity. But until this big step by China, there's never been a test on partial gravity of what happened. So apparently the experiment was successful. At least one of the seeds sprouted, and it's a great thing to be figuring out, because we'll eventually need to know how to grow food on the moon. So hopefully this will be the first of many related experiments. That's it for our coverage of the second week of January 2019. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you in a week or so with our next report. Take care.